This meeting to order. It's Monday, April 14th, 6:30, and we have a quorum. First thing on the docket today is citizens communication. There's no
None.
citizens communication. So we'll move on to the next item. Agenda item 3A is the approval of the March 10th meeting minutes, and they are there any comments on the minutes?
Nope.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
I make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. And now we'll move on to discuss and consider action regarding the 2025 listening session, including planning for locations, times, and logistics. To Brianna.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. I didn't do the slides again because I think you've seen them all several times at this point. I figured we could just chat it through because I usually just reference the packet anyways. So last time we met, we talked about planning out our locations, our times, and logistics with today as our deadline for all of that. The planning document you have is the same one I emailed to you. It has notes, question sheet if you'd like, but at the end, and we'll get to that in a bit, but I just wanted to let you know if you feel like it's a lot heavier. Chloe sent over some questions for the sessions that her and Omani were going to partner on. So that's why this packet feels a little heavier, and we'll go through those. First, I wanted to talk about the locations, times of each of those meetings. We tentatively had May with Omani and Clarissa, possibly May, July for Omani and Chloe, sorry. And then August and September for possibly Claudia's session and maybe Omani's session. Did anyone have any finalized dates and times
Yes.
and locations? Okay.
So I actually reserved, is it this room? Donna, Blue River Library for August 6th from 6 to 7:30 for one session. And then I also have reserved September 17th, also from 6 to 7:30.
Also at the library?
Yes.
Okay. And for do you have your topics decided?
We can talk
Topic.
about them, but, two of them that I have, and I wasn't quite sure whether we wanted me to repeat the topic offer two sessions basically on the same topic, or dedicate one session to one topic and the second to another. So I'm open to feedback or preferences from the commission on that, but the two topics being the skill building / lifelong learning topic as one, and I have questions for that. And the second would be on the historic preservation cultural heritage topic. And I have some questions that I could offer on that topic. So either, one session on one of those and the second session on the other, or do we want to make both sessions as, two different opportunities on the same topic? And in which case I might offer like the lifelong learning skill building one as the topic. But I'm open to thoughts.
I think it's important to get both in, but
Okay.
because it'd be hard. I understand the value of doing it twice. And it depends on how many people you think are going to come.
Right,
So,
yeah. And I
if-
have no idea.
yeah, it's August.
Okay, well, I can-
It's words. I'm so sorry. It is 6:30. Initially, just for background, not to sway either way, we talked about the topics doing them twice, so you get more people in that session. But if the commission feels that you would like to have more topics and just do it once, that is kind of up to y'all to decide on what you
Okay.
prefer the best.
I think I'd like, my preference, and this is why I kind of chose both, is to have one on one topic and the second one on the different topic. So I'm good with offering just more topics as an opportunity to the community to engage.
Okay.
That works.
Plus, we're going to make these questions available online, right?
Yes.
So
So would you like August for skill building and lifelong learning and September for historic preservation, or opposite?
I think it's fine in that order, yes. And then do you want me to email the questions, or how do we do the questions?
You can email them to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
And the recommendation was 5 to 8, right? That's kind of what we were trying to stay within.
Yeah. Okay. Corey,
Yes,
I have June for economic equity.
yes. And didn't we have an opening in July, I think, was what you had?
Yeah,
emailed
you
us?
had a Sunday in July, I think it's the last Sunday.
Okay, because I've been having trouble finding a location to facilitate, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got one here.
That would be fine if we kind of switch that up. And if there's another session within the year, we can figure that out too. I'd like to host 2 of them, of course, but.
Okay, so
Yeah, just figuring out
you
logistics.
want to keep the July date?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
let's keep the July date, just so we have it booked in, and I can let all my people know about that too, and so
Okay.
that'll work. And then we can coordinate, if you guys don't mind, we can coordinate another session at some point, whenever there's an opening.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're scratching out June.
Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
If we have like availability at the rec center
Yeah,
or at the
any-
Justice Center in June, are you good with that?
anything would be great, yeah.
Okay.
Any location
Okay.
is good.
And then,
And then that's economic development too, economic development equality. And I have 5 questions for you.
Jennifer, what time was the 27th?
It's in the afternoon, it's a Sunday.
It was like a 2 to 3, I think,
Yeah,
I want to say.
after church.
I have it written down on one of these pieces
You know
of
what?
paper.
It's not like I, 2 to 3. Thank
2 to
you.
3.
Ah, it's in my hand.
2 to 3, library.
And here's those questions if you,
Cool.
I'll email them to you too, so you don't have to go type them out or something. It's 1982.
Okay. And then,
Okay.
Chloe.
Yeah, I think we're all having trouble finding some
That's
locations.
Okay.
So for May, I have our community needs and challenges booked here in Lantana on May 13th from 7 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Now, since we were discussing about not necessarily doing doubles on the same topic, I did book another session for community needs and challenges here on the 24th of May. But given what we've discussed, I can make that one of the accessibility barriers. Does that work for everybody?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, if you don't mind doing that.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Here at the library and accessibility.
And that one was for the 24th, because that's on a Saturday from 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
That'll give people chances on the weekend. And since we moved some things in July, so the other one so should we scrap the other version of accessibility barriers for July? Or should we do another community needs and challenges? I feel my preference would be the former of doing another community needs and challenges, because that's more overarching. The accessibility barriers gets
Narrow.
deeper. I don't want to dismiss that, but if we could get more insight from community needs and challenges, I'd be on board with that, okay? So yeah, you can put me down that for July.
Okay.
Right now, can we tentatively put the location for the First United Methodist Church? I'm in discussions with them this week. They've been getting back to me on settling on a date for July. But I will have that to you by the end of this week, Brianna.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a summary so you kind of all have what I have written down. I have on May 13th from 7 to 8 p.m. at the library, community needs and challenges. I have May 24th from 3 to 4 p.m. here in the library, the accessibility and barriers to accessibility. Then in June, I have a tentative economic equity session that we will identify a location for. July,
What is the date on that one in June?
It's tentative right now.
Oh, the
We're
TV,
trying to-
okay,
yeah.
got it. All right.
is there a week you prefer? Like
No, just any week.
just any
honestly.
week?
Yeah.
Do you prefer a day, like a Sunday,
Saturday's usually
Saturday?
better.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you can find a Sunday and you don't have any Saturdays, well, that's fine. So,
Is there a time of day
it'd
you
be cool
care
to
about?
do it at the rec center.
Rec
But,
center?
That'd be like, because one at the library, one at the rec center, just to change up the location, kind of see if you get different
Yeah.
answers.
I was trying to like
People
reach
might
out
have-
to Shane, and Shane was like,
Yes.
they were like, he's not here today. I'm like, oh gosh.
He let me know earlier this afternoon. He was like, Carissa messaged me. And I was like, yes, I will, and I'll
'Cause
let
I
her
had a
know.
feeling everybody was struggling, and they were going to choose the library because it's more efficiently the book.
You know, I was like, Jennifer.
But yeah, because like a lot of the clubhouses and stuff in neighborhoods are only let you book it if you're part of that neighborhood. But they have some really nice amenities floating around out there I can't access.
Okay. So we'll check with, do you care about time of day or just a Saturday at the rec?
Just Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and then I can figure it out with anyone on my team, so.
Okay. Moving on to July, we are locking down on a date and time for First United Methodist Church, and topic would be community needs and challenges. Then July 27th, I have Corey down from 2 to 3 p.m. at the library for economic equity. Then in August, I have Claudia, August 6th, from 6 to 7:30 in the library on skill building. And then September 17th, I have Claudia, 6 to 7:30 in the library on historic preservation and cultural heritage. Okay. If Omani and Virginia happen to not have locked anything down or anything like that, are you comfortable with what you have as of now moving forward? Like, are you okay that you may not have none, what total amount was like 10 or something? Okay.
I think we got it covered pretty good.
Wonderful. Okay, great. So we just have 2 that we need to work on, and Corey will get with Shane and identify a rec time. He's already aware that I'll be reaching out to him. And then we'll identify, and then you're still working with United First Methodist, so great.
Yep.
Wonderful. How exciting.
Nothing like a deadline.
We did it.
So, talking on logistics, kind of as we look ahead, and I'll summarize as well, but the location, well, it's most of them are here at the library, so we'll work with Jennifer, but about kind of what we did, if you were able to see last time we were here, we just had like 15 to 20 of these chairs laid out in a circle, and then I had a table over in the corner where people could sign in, and we had the signs held up. Last time we brought the Equity Commission, what we had was the Equity Commission pillars on a sign that we just kind of kept up just so people, if they had questions,
Can reference,
they
yeah.
could reference. We also did the questions last time. Pros and cons, I'm just sharing, you can decide. Pros is you could read the questions, and if as someone was saying them, they could visibly see them as they were being read out loud and asked. That might be helpful for those who have a harder time audibly understanding. Con might be that people were skipping ahead on questions or looking ahead at questions and jumping ahead of the conversation. Pro is some people held back on a response because they knew a later question would touch on what they wanted to say. So those are some of the pros and cons of just what I witnessed. Do you want questions printed out on the sign again? Do you want them printed out on pieces of paper for your session, or do you not want the questions at all?
Yeah, in the name of neurodivergency, let's make sure that we have some printed
Okay.
out so people can read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think the printout's good. I don't think we need the big
The
sign
boards,
and
yeah,
we can do
all the
without that.
production through it. So.
I can print out questions. I can make signs too, but printing out questions is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the survey, we talked about putting all of the survey questions into one document. We went through how they could jump around and pick what they wanted to answer or didn't want to answer. And then you wanted those to go out along with the dates, not waiting till after,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to confirm.
And on that topic, do we need questions? I see that you guys have formatted questions for survey, and then like, do we need formatted questions like for the survey specifically, and then for the listening session? Mine are kind of open-ended, so.
I think it all depends on the question. Like some of the questions I asked, asked more than one question because you're in an in-person setting.
Yeah.
But if it's online, I mean, that's not really conducive, so I just
Okay.
tweaked it a little bit. But if they're open-ended,
Yeah, mine are just open-ended.
they're pretty
That's fine.
easy to
Yeah, mine are
put,
too.
for survey questions.
And these work for, as I quickly read them, I see them working for the survey.
Yeah.
As I go through the logistics again. Okay. Last year, we did audio recordings, and staff took notes. Is there a preference to keep doing that? Don't do that? Do you have a different idea? Or you just want to replicate what we did last year?
I say it worked last year.
Yeah, I like what worked last year. It's pretty good.
Wonderful. Let me make my notes clearer because I put replicate last year. Tomorrow when I go to read this, I'm not gonna remember what that meant. Okay. And then what we'll do again is summarize findings, provide a report to you all. Something I heard is provide the notes to the commission after the session, so the whole commission gets the notes after the sessions.
Great.
I can't promise you it'll be the next day, but I promise you it'll be within the week.
Totally reasonable.
And I'm going to be fully and completely transparent that there are a couple of sessions I already know I will not personally be the staff member there, but I will have a staff member there who will fully be equipped to take the notes and do the audio recording and all of that. But the July and August session, I will not be able to attend. I'm getting married.
Congratulations.
That's my little plug. I
guess
felt like
that's
maybe I should tell you why I'm not going to be there, so you don't think I'm just skipping out.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Actually, I'll make sure that doesn't. Okay. I was thinking about DC.
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. Great. Okay. And then the questions. So I have I will get Claudia's questions. I have closed questions and Corey's questions. I'll put them all in the planning document and fix it up. I'll get this finalized based on everything that we've shared, and then once we have those last two sessions finalized. So you'll get a draft tomorrow, but then we'll get the finalized one
Excellent.
done before the sessions start. I'll also put all of the questions, I'll format them all the same. I'll make them super large font and double spaced so that they're most easily read for anyone who needs them. And then we'll get the survey, and I'll make sure that I provide you a survey link to test it out first
Yes.
before we send it out.
I just emailed you the questions, so there you go.
Test.
Sorry, mine are still in draft. We have a bunch of questions I pulled out.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a list.
So that is, in terms of plan, locations, times, and logistics on 4A, that is everything that I have for you all. Is there anything on that section that is missing? And then 4B is talking about marketing.
Got no other questions?
Yeah, I think as far as logistics goes, I think we're at a good spot.
Like you said, 4B is about marketing
Okay,
for this summer session, or listed session.
great. All right, I'll
I'm
move.
college there for a second.
4B for marketing. So,
Open the item.
oh, I thought he did. Did you open it?
Oh, how do?
You say, just you can say opening 4B and then you read the title.
Next item 4B is discuss consider actions regarding the marketing 2025 listening tour, and we're going to be talking about actions of marketing. Sorry.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we did last year is we had these available on our website, on our city website. We blasted it out in our key to the city. I think it also might have gone out in the flyer, which is the utility bill insert.
Okay.
And then we put it on our social media. Something I cannot remember if we did or not, and I didn't go back to check, but also on our calendar of events, we can add it to our calendar events as well. We made flyers and we had those out. I think the library might have had one out. I don't know if the rec center did, but we can make sure that we put flyers out here at the library as well as the rec center, so that, and what we did is it was one flyer that had all of the different dates on there.
Okay.
And so you could take a look and see what date you can make or anything like that. We didn't require people to register ahead of time. It was, and I think part of that too was that supporting an, I'm gonna, anonymity? I can't say that word. It's like anonymity.
I can't do, that one, and infantilizing, I just can't.
Yeah, I
do
can't
it.
get that one. To protect their privacy,
Yeah, you do.
we didn't require them to register ahead of time. And then we talked about last year of things we could do better was putting flyers out in the places people actually go. Hair salons, nail salons.
That's exactly what I was
Local.
gonna ask, because I was talking to business, Better Than Business Barbershop, and a couple of other places where they're they didn't have the space, but they're like, let us know like where we could go. So I wanted to know too, like, can we have a batch of flyers so I can take to those areas that I know that folks are.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is,
I'm sure we all have our own connections out through town too.
so we're good. Social media, flyer, if I get it to them in time. Yeah. It may not go out in the May flyer, but it'll hit the June flyer.
Yeah.
I think I might have missed the deadline on the May flyer. And then key to the city events page on our calendar, and social media, flyer, key city events, and then we'll do physical flyers, and we'll get those to you. What I can do is email you a version, so you have an emailed copy, and you can email it to your groups, and then we'll print some out and leave stacks at
Yes,
City Hall if you want to come pick them up.
Perfect.
And then I can also, of course, bring some to the next Equity Commission meeting.
We could probably put some out at Slice, at the,
Yes. We'll put them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good idea, Emily.
Maybe the farmer's market.
not getting very many people there.
I can possibly.
I don't know if y'all members of Nextdoor, but definitely gonna be
Oh, that would,
sending
that
out
idea.
information on the.
We'll look at that, how we can do events, yeah.
We're gonna look at how we might be able to create an A-frame sign. So that's like the little triangle signs you put out there, like parking here, but pretty. We'll look at if we can maybe design one that we can put out at some of our events that happen, like farmers market or something like that, to
Okay.
share with people. I'll see if I can design it in a way where it's not hurtful to the eye. If not, maybe like a QR code people can scan.
Yeah. I like where your head's at.
We're currently doing that for our strategic plan. We have an
Yeah.
A-frame that we're putting out at events for people to scan and take the survey, so I think we can get them somewhere. Okay. So I have for marketing, social media, flyer, key to the city events calendar, flyers that are not flyer that we email out in the utility bill, but actual physical flyers to put out in places, and we'll email it to you and also print out for the group. And then possibly an A-frame sign that we can set out at events, but we'll most definitely have at the bare minimum flyers at Slice of Pflugerville.
Okay.
Anything I'm miss there?
To get people to the survey, could the flyers have a QR code to the survey? Is the survey going to be live at the same time?
Yep.
So,
QR
in case they
code.
can't come, you know.
Yeah, yep.
Just scan it on your phone.
Are there any other opportunities to like cross-market, I don't know if that's the right word, with other partner organizations? I'm just thinking of like my topic that has to do with skill building, and I'm thinking like PCDC and like some of the groups they
That's
work
actually a good
with.
idea.
I would love it if they help promote it too.
Certainly.
Maybe the chamber, I
I was just writing down the chamber.
don't know. Okay,
They do their small business
yeah.
learning series. So I'll send them all the topics and then ask them to push out the topics to their groups as well.
That'd be great.
Marketing. My notes quickly turned messy. There we go. Oh. Okay. Anything else that comes to mind?
So,
Not really. I think it's
I think
hitting
this is
some
good.
really good
Yeah.
channels. We're hitting the,
yeah, with the QR code on it and everything.
Yes,
I think it's
QR
great.
code.
Yeah.
Oh, QR code equity survey, not the flyer. Okay,
Okay.
that
And-
is everything I have.
Yeah, and that, I guess that concludes all the business. Motion to adjourn.
Oh, you can just adjourn.
Oh, I can just adjourn?
You can
Okay,
just
adjourn.
cool. Heck, yeah.